Are narcissists more successful professionally?
Yes. They're much more successful. That's the problem. And not, I mean, again, and I'm not going to make this a blanket statement, but I'm going to tell you now that they're more ambitious. Success is life or death to them, right? Because it's validation. It's the blood that flows to their psyche. So the stakes are much higher for them. The rest of us, we want to succeed, but at the end of the day, we would say, I've got my family, I got my friends, I got enough money in the bank, I got some food in my belly, like I'm good. But for them, it's the air in their lungs. So they're more represented in leadership. They make more money, especially narcissistic men make more money than agreeable men. They're more successful at dating. They're more successful. And unfortunately, the way our economy is set up, it is set up so that the narcissistic people win. Narcissism and capitalism go together really well because it's a competitive system that rewards the person who does the most. And we don't look at process, we look at outcome. And because anytime you have an outcome heavy metric, narcissistic people are always going to win.
I'm thinking about some of the greatest companies that have been built that changed the world, Apple being one of them. Oftentimes when you hear about how these people treated other people, it sounds like the narcissistic characteristics that you described earlier. But then we often excuse that because of what they brought into the world, the great innovations, the great companies they built, how they helped change the world, how they maybe led us through or out of war. So what do you say to that? Is it sometimes worth their narcissism for what they gave the world?
So here's a rub. I completely agree with what you're saying. I actually think that some of the greatest innovations, greatest creativity, in fact, many wartime presidents and prime ministers had to be narcissistic, right? And might have gotten countries, people through messes, might have had the decisive postures that were necessary, that might have made the really, really kinds of difficult corporate decisions that needed to make with little regard for how the human beings were going to get hurt, treated people in a way, pushed them to an inhuman limit. And then there was this thing that came out of it. Was it worth it? I mean, now we're in philosophy, honey, and I'm a psychologist, but suffice it to say, there's always been talk, like even inventors like Thomas Alva Edison was not a nice guy, right? Some archival research. Loving these light bulbs, right? Would someone else have done it? It's a moot point. He did. And so I think the innovations are important. I think narcissistic people are built for innovation. They're grandiose. They're dreamers. They want the adulation. They want to do the big thing. They want to be on the big tech stage and have all the lights on them and have